Did you guys enjoy the old Final Fantasy Tactics games? Maybe it was Tactics Ogre. If you did, 6 Eye Studios and 1C Entertainment has released a great game for you, and I want to go ahead and, talk to you about it. Today I'll be reviewing Fail Cell Arbiter Marked. It's on the Xbox and PS4 as well as Steam. Today I'll be reviewing this on Steam because that's what the review copy came with. It was released on April the 30th, so you can go pick this up right now. The game is going to run you about $30. These are my opinions and my opinions only, so keep that in mind. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start the review. The first thing we'll be reviewing on this game is its graphics. This game has a unique art style for those that are really used to these grid space turn-based RPGs. The maps are all different, from the swampy areas to the lava filled maps. They're all different, and it never really felt that old to me. As far as character design, you have that typical text. One thing that's a little unique is the actual character that's talking is actually on the left side of the text. And not all games do that with these kind of text formats, but it is nice that they give you some kind of visualization on who's talking at that time. Now, as far as the character design, the characters themselves look fine during cutscenes. But however, in battle they do look a little awkward because some of them tend to be a little bit bigger than the actual tile that they're standing on the map. However, after just a few hours of gameplay, I can honestly say that it kind of grew on me and it didn't really bother me anymore. Animations in this game are the biggest thing where I can really see improvement with any type of sequel. I think it should always look nice, the effects, everything, especially for those of you that see these kind of games. A lot of the abilities have effects and animations to how they achieve that ability, and I do feel like this is where the game was lackluster a little bit. There are some of the abilities that are the exact same ability but just different names. Like for instance, the cleansing blade and the corrupted blade is the exact same animation, just one's white and one's black. I feel like, let's change things up a little bit if you have a sequel, especially some of the harder abilities. Make them look really visually appealing so you get that same effect of doing them as you do watching you do them. And this is me not saying the animations in this game look bad, because that's clearly not the case. I always just feel like there's room for improvement. My last thoughts on graphics is this game, all I really want to say is when you actually play the game, it never impacted my experience. Obviously, I brought up some things that they could improve on, but these were not game breaking, they weren't immersion breaking. It didn't stop me at all from enjoying the experience. It didn't impact my experience whatsoever. Now let's talk about the story a little bit. The story is simply amazing. Plenty of likable characters, plenty of twists in the story, and it turns out that there's actually different endings if you have a certain requirements are met. I have almost no problem with the story in this game. Great pacing, well told story, it's very interactive. The universe was just a straight up pleasure. Maybe the only issue I might have is I felt like some of the secret classes could have had their own storyline and, lore behind them to make that class more appealing to characters to seek out. Most of the secret classes seemed like, in the world, in that universe, they were extremely rare class, extremely rare fighters. So it was a little disappointing to see that they weren't really branched out and you really knew what those type of characters were. Then again, this is me nitpicking. No way, shape, or form broke the immersion at all. The story almost alone in this game is worth the price. So the story starts you out as an Arbiter, which is pretty much a title given to those who enforce the law throughout the entire land. You come across a massacre and you arrest the person responsible. Well, it turns out that person ends up being put on death row, and the godlike immortals deem that is a prospect to becoming a next immortal. And they're pretty much godlike people that have so much power that they dictate the entire world. So pretty much, you as the Arbiter, you feel a certain way that he's being let go and he's not being held responsible and justice isn't prevailing. So you take it upon yourself, which it's actually in this game, it's against the law to attack anyone named Mark because they have that perspective of becoming the next immortal, and you chase after this individual knowing that the entire world can come at you for doing this. So there's obviously aspects to why the immortals did this, There's aspects to what's going on, and the whole story leads up to that. And it was a great experience. So let's go ahead and talk about the biggest portion of the game and the best portion of the game, in my opinion, which is the gameplay. It's very old school, and then that's in a good way. It takes me back to a long time to where I really enjoyed these types of games with great story that actually made it a lot better because you would keep pushing on with the gameplay because you wanted to know what was going on in the story. Like most of you are aware, I'm sure, is this game plays a lot like Final Fantasy Tactics. It was clearly inspired from the game, from the look of the map to the way you change your characters, the job screen. But they did improve a lot of aspects that I really enjoyed about the game. For instance, there's a lot of side quests that is really enjoyable. You can unlock certain characters with certain items. There's actually side quests like area events, arena events. If that's not good enough, you can do that classic just grind and make that perfect build that you want. You also have a lot of customizations to every unit you have. You can change the picture of what they look like, and you can change their actual appearance as well. There's actually even, a good crafting system where you can craft items, weapons, medallions. You can actually craft the certain abilities and certain items that you need to unlock the special classes in the game. What I really like about this game in terms of gameplay is the diverse that this game has. You can make pure knights, pure mages, you can make hybrids. You can do a lot because you can bring abilities and things like that to other classes after you've mastered them. If you don't want to waste your time with any of the human classes, you can actually grind a special unit in the game that actually has nothing but monster effects from the whole world and lets you use their abilities. This game also has a game difficulty. It can actually be very hard depending on what difficulty you choose. Thanks to their injury system, which makes it harder to continue using the same troops over and over again. So if you play on those harder difficulties, you're probably going to end up using the guild to buy units over and over again, and always wanting to fight with those other units to make sure you have enough people to constantly go into battle and not have that injury system hurt you during this experience that you have. Felcell is a fantastic game that deserves praise. We don't get many games like this. It gives you about 35 plus hours, and it focuses on what made games so fun in the late 90s and the early 2000s, which is the gameplay. If you don't enjoy turn-based RPGs, I'd say it's probably not worth your money because you don't enjoy these type of games. If you want to go ahead and try it, it's only $30, so you won't really lose too much if you don't enjoy these types. If you do enjoy any type of turn-based games, I do think this is worth trying. No questions asked. If you enjoyed the old Final Fantasy games, this is a must-have. Go ahead and go out and buy it. Even if you like the XCOMs, the new XCOM games, it's not exactly the same experience, but I think it's enough similar that you would enjoy what this game has to offer. Games like this is what I grew up on, so I'm a little biased. But this review, it takes away nothing from my opinion. I do believe this is worth every penny of the $30 on any platform. It's only $30, gives you a great story. I got about 40 hours in the game, and I didn't even do everything. I even got the bad ending. So I didn't grind all the last little bit of the stuff to get the good ending. So tell me what you guys think about this game. If any of you played it, you're just looking at some other people reviewing it, tell me in the comment section what you guys thought of the game. I personally thought this was definitely worthy of, I like to call it the spiritual successor of Final Fantasy Tactics. And like I said, it was worth every penny that I would have put into this game. If they bring this out to the Switch, I think I'm going to buy it on the Switch too. I might even buy it on the Xbox to play it again, get that good ending. But this is Gaming Addict. Until the next review, I'm out of here. Peace.